Hey, what's up, boss?
He can't tell you his source, honey.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey,
What's good? Hey, what's good, man? How you doing?
we're doing all right, sir. What's going on with you?
Good, good. Sorry about being late, man. Just had a couple things going on here, man. Putting a video out and just a few things, man.
You're doing big things, Uncle Freezy. You're doing big things.
Yeah, a lot of them, a lot of them, man. A lot of them.
I see.
I wanted to get together, man. I wanted to do this more often because our feedback from the initial joint was so overwhelming. It was kind of like, people was like, yo, y'all should do that like 3 times a week. I was like, nah, bro. I don't know if 3 times a week is kind of stretch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe I'll talk to AD and see if we can do it, once in a while. Yeah, man. So
Sounds good. Sounds
yeah,
good.
man. Yeah, man. So let me do something real quick. I want to ask you a question. Can I put those ones? I want to ask you this because I was talking to a few of my cousins, right? And they were talking about, hey, Choplo, what's good? Cully, what's good? My cousins and them was talking about, oh man, Oklahoma City had Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and James Harden and Serge Ibaka and Reggie Jackson and all them dudes on the team at the same time, and that team could have won 10 straight championships. And I was like,
they should have at least got one.
They should have at least got one, right?
One.
But I grew up in the era, and these dudes are like in their late 20s, and they like mid to late 20s. These dudes like 26, 27, 28, right? But what I'm trying to explain to them is this feeling that I had about the Knicks. Like, my feeling for the Knicks is different, right? Like growing up, man, the Yankees, like growing up in the New York tri-state area, the Yankees were the crown gem of sports, right?
Yeah.
When I was and so they used to, and the Yankees at this time, the Yankees hadn't won any championships. They had gone years without winning championships, right? And they had just got this owner. Well, not just, but he had been an owner for a while, maybe 5 or 6 years. A dude named George Steinbrenner.
Yep.
Right. He had just taken over the Yankees. And he was trying to do it the old school way. And then crime was crazy in the New York tri-state area, man. And where I grew up in Jersey City, it was crazy. It's crazy. All I can remember, man, is abandoned buildings, burned down buildings. Where I grew up in Jersey City, it looked just like the Bronx. Right? It looked just like the Bronx, man. Every other building was abandoned, fires everywhere, abandoned cars. It was crazy. And this new music was just hitting the scene. We didn't know what to call it yet. Right? We didn't know what to call it yet, but it was brand new. Right? It was brand new. Hey, Miss Geraldine, what's good? Jay Williams, what's good? Black University is in the building. What's good, y'all? The time was different, right? The Knicks had won championships a few years before that, and they were celebrated by basketball fans, but not celebrated by sports fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's because the NBA was the little brother of baseball was king. I think football was second, and then basketball somewhere was kind of third. But during that time on the airwaves, you had big personalities. You had your Howard Cosell's on ABC's Wide World of Sports. You had your Ken Spiderweb on your radio. You know what I'm saying? You had your bunch of different things, right? Our culture was a little bit different then, right?
A lot different.
Yeah. See, now everything is so polished. Everything is so like cats will get on draft night. Nowadays, on draft night, when the guy's name is selected, they zoom in, show his living room on TV. His family is celebrating around him, or he's at the draft with his draft suit on, getting a hat, walking across stage. Back then, you would get a recap. The Knicks drafted such and such in round 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying? You read the paper and you're like, who are these guys? And they just a bunch of rookies. Unless it was the rookie. Unless it was like a Lou Alcindor or somebody. Right? Then that feeling of drafting somebody meant something. But aside from that, you were like, you didn't know who these dudes were. As a matter of fact, I think college basketball back then might have been bigger than NBA basketball.
There's no might about it. College basketball was totally bigger than the NBA for a long time. Yep. But to a piece of the point that you just mentioned a while ago about, the order of the drafts and how they would present the drafts and so forth, that all changed in '85. Because remember, it went from these guys flipping a double-sided coin,
yeah,
to get it to the team that they wanted to,
right?
And tanking was just the order of the day, and cats could, teams could do that, and the league was a lot more hands-on in how this thing should go, so. It's kind of like before Ewing, after Ewing.
Right.
He doesn't, when the last time we were on and we had a discussion about Ewing, and it was maybe about a week or two before his birthday. So I want to say happy belated birthday to the cat. We tend to forget his significance in basketball, not just NBA basketball, but college basketball. Like, he was a major deal on the scene for a long time, going back to high school basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, very few players you could say you knew about them each steps in their career.
Right.
In comparison to a guy that is a late bloomer. No, that dude was on time.
Right.
The moment Georgetown got him, it was all a matter of when, not if, when they're going to win it.
And how many.
Yeah. Because he gave them a shot to win every year.
Every year.
So
and he started something too.
You think, you just, that whole team and the, what they brought to college, and just that whole aura, the Big East, and what they brought to college. The Big East basketball pretty much invented ESPN.
Pretty much.
Because prior to that, ESPN, you could catch a Skelly game on ESPN.
Yeah.
They were so shooting for programming. I remember watching the Rucker all-star leagues on the ESPN. They were looking for midget wrestling. They were looking for any and everything to fill programming. And the Big East with Dave Gavitt and them, they come in, they drop it. You know, you get the new wave of coaches and all are friendly rivals, you know, and they're all getting the best talent on the Northeast shore.
Right. I remember the Big East wasn't nothing. Rob the Nick was good.
What's good? I'm doing two things at once.
Multitasking.
Yeah, I'm doing well. What's going on, fam?
What's going on, sir?
Ain't nothing much. What y'all talking about? I just tuned in. I heard Big East.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we was talking about how Pat Ewing turned Georgetown University into a power, and how that in turn helped grow the Big East and grow ESPN. You know, because people don't remember, man, the Big East wasn't nothing but a whole bunch of small Catholic schools up top. They wasn't nobody. They wasn't no North Carolina. They wasn't no Indiana. They wasn't no Notre Dame. They wasn't no Notre Dame.
No.
Yeah.
Digger Phelps had Notre Dame rocking, bro. Notre Dame, yo, they wasn't UCLA.
No.
The Big East didn't have no UCLA, bro. They what? Maryland with Lefty Driesell, bruh.
But they had a dude who had vision.
Yep.
You know, Dave Gavitt had vision. Dave Gavitt was like, "Oh, you guys are not using Madison Square Garden, but on these days, check it out. This is what we're gonna do. St. John's, you're gonna play some of your home games there.
Yep.
What? We're gonna have the Big East championships there."
Yep.
And another thing that helped the Big East too at that time, Proposition 48 made all the New York ball players stay home.
Yes.
And then you got Walter Berry, you got Pearl. Everybody started going to the Big East schools.
Yeah.
And then the bigger divisions, they start getting mad at Proposition 48 because they wasn't getting the talent that they was getting. And that's what helped grow the Big East too.
Right.
Yeah.
They could because UCLA could cherry pick, and UCLA cherry picked Lou Alcindor right out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was no contender in New York City. There was no contender in the New York tri-state. Think about all the schools in the New York tri-state area, right? You're talking about your St. John's, your Seton Halls, your Manhattans.
They wasn't ready.
Syracuse. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They wasn't ready.
I mean, he walked right into the city and got Lou Alcindor, right?
Mm-hmm. With pretty much no recruiting.
Yeah.
They showed them palm trees and then in that campus.
Hollywood.
And you don't have to pay for nothing.
Nothing.
Come on, let's go.
Nothing.
Yeah. He got up out of there quick. He had a strict pops too.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be nowhere near the city.
Right.
No.
Right. And the thing that sold it the most is I don't know if old school fans even remember this, but so there was an exhibition, right? Wilt Chamberlain played in the exhibition against Lou Alcindor, right? And Lou Alcindor was like 7'2", about 210. That's what they listed him at. He probably wasn't even 210. He was like a pimple-faced junior in high school, right? And Wilt Chamberlain was 7'2", 275. Probably one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen. A 7'2", 200. G-Man, what's good?
What's good, fellas?
Wilt Chamberlain is a 7'2", 275-pound man that ran a 4.5 40 and bench pressed 400 pounds. Worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the beach. Right? Worked out with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger said himself, I've seen it on YouTube, that Wilt Chamberlain could wake up out of his sleep and bench press 400 pounds. And he was a triple jump champion. Right? Wilt Chamberlain. Right? And Lou Alcindor is like a pimple-faced kid, you know what I'm saying, heart of the city. He doing stuff in these Catholic leagues, you know, balling. And And Lou Alcindor held his own. I think he finished the game with like 17 points and 17 rebounds or something like that against Wilt. And people was like, oh, yeah, Wilt let him get 17 and 17 or something crazy, or 12 and 12 or something like whatever it was. But you talking about in the late 60s, you talking about the most dominant basketball player of the day, and you can hold your own. Yeah, you know he going to UCLA, bro. You know this kid Kareem is going to be, Lou Alcindor at the time was going to be special, bro. You knew that.
Mm-hmm. They wanted him away because remember, the NCAA at that time wasn't the big brother.
No.
Their game wasn't the
NIT.
It was the NIT, and they're coming off that NYU scandal.
Yep.
And all of that, and they didn't want him nowhere near that.
They didn't want him nowhere near NYU or Manhattan because Manhattan was in it too.
They didn't want him nowhere near that.
Yep.
Manhattan was balling.
Yeah.
Manhattan was balling.
Yeah.
And
NYU, they was balling.
They was balling.
NCCC, they was balling too.
Yep.
Yeah. They were absolutely balling, but somehow, some way, that whole stench was around the area for a minute. If you look into school and college sports, and I don't know who was his peoples at that time, but it was like, look, you're not going to St. John's, you're not going here, you're not going there, you're out of here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Because if you're out of here, we can't have you. And like Rob said, he was from a very disciplinary pops.
Yeah, he wasn't having that.
Yeah, his pops was like, no, you're out of here. And look at the, and I say this for young big guys. Those guys didn't allow themselves to be marginalized. They worked on their games.
Yep.
You think you could say to Kareem, all you're gonna do is pick and dive?
Yes.
And go to the dunker's box?
What?
Think about that. All you're gonna do is pick and dive and go to the dunker's box and clog the lane and wait for a block.
No.
That wasn't happening.
No.
That wasn't gonna happen. You'd be fired.
Right.
Like he'd be looking at you like, are you crazy?
Yo, back in my day, back when I was playing, bro, you couldn't play guard. You could not handle the ball, period, if you couldn't throw entry passes in the post. If you didn't know how to feed a big man, you might not even make the team. Bro, if you could not feed a big,
your big man had to have multiple. Your big man had to. When I watched the cats in this city here play and played with them, or whatever, the big man, like you saw later with Anthony Mason, the big man had to be able to handle the ball.
Yep.
You ever seen pictures of Connie Hawkins? How big his hands were,
bro.
And he could wave the ball around his head. He could pick up the ball like a grapefruit and literally wave it around his head and make a pass. The big guys today is like, who taught y'all this game?
Bro, I swear, big men.
But that game is long gone.
Yeah,
that game is long gone. Those are just reminiscing on the good old the old basketball game because it's a totally different game for real.
Yeah,
blame Steph.
It doesn't even look the same.
But Rob, but check this out though. Back then, big men could do multiple stuff. Like for instance, there was no such thing as a rebounder, a shot blocker, a screen setter. You know what I'm saying? A low post threat, a face up five. All these dudes could do it all because if you couldn't, you wasn't getting on the floor, right? And then and back in probably the early '80s, screen setting became a big thing in the NBA, right? Can you set screens, right? Because before that it was all motion. Like guys use natural motion to get open and you use footwork and all of that stuff. But back then, the Cleveland Cavaliers had this dude on a bench named Bill Lambie, right? And we was like, this dude is garbage. He a goon.
The first stretch four.
Yeah. So, but I was just about to say, so he would come off Cleveland bench, and he had a jump shot, right? He would this and stay with me, y'all. Just follow me. So Cleveland had this dude named Bill Lambie coming off their bench, right? And all he could do was scream the devil out of people. People would be so mad that he screamed so hard that they would want to fight him because they felt like he was dirty, right? But he had a nice jump shot on him, and when it came to rebound, he couldn't block no shots. Now he wasn't going. He could defend, but he couldn't block shots, right? And so this guy named Chuck Daly was like, "That's exactly what we need." They traded and got Cleveland's third or fourth string big man off the bench. And they was like, yo, we got these little guards running around. We gonna keep these dudes off our little guards. And they put Bill Lambie. And Bill Lambie wound up starting for the Detroit Pistons, and the rest is history, bro. You talking about a big that could, because there were guys like what's the list of dude name?
Alton
Lister. Yeah, man, that dude was so strong in the post. I swear, when rebounds go up, his hands were like vice grips on the ball, bro. Like he will grab it and throw that thing back down the tray. You're like, God, dog, that dude is strong. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't gonna do anything. He wasn't gonna set no screens, bro. He was like, you're not dudes for G-Man. You know how dudes go from E3 to E4. They're specialists now. You know what I'm saying? They almost made it. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like they got to do the private work no more.
They're E4P.
Yeah. They don't have to. Yeah. So them cats, man, but cats like Bill Lambie, he did it because he loved it, bro. He loved pancaking guards that couldn't. Man, I saw him, and trust. I'm not a Pistons fan nor a Sixers fan, right? You know, I say screw them all. If you're not Knicks, screw them all. But I saw him set a screen on Maurice Cheeks, and I started to jump through the TV and punch Bill Lambie in the face myself. Right. Isaiah coming down, and Isaiah points to him right there, Billy, right there. And Bill Lambie goes to the spot, and this is in the open court. You remember back in the day, guards used to pick up guards 94 feet, right?
Yep.
This one, it wasn't a thing. You know, back in the day, it wasn't a thing to pick up 94. Nowadays, if you see a guard pick up 94 feet, you're like, oh my God, he a dog. Back in the day, that was nothing, right? Isaiah pointed right there, Bill, and Bill stood there, and he saw Isaiah coming, and Mo Cheeks. Nobody called it out, right? Mo Cheeks ran full speed at Isaiah, and Bill Lambie took that elbow and wham! And all you saw was Mo Cheeks just flail out on the floor, boy. And I was like, that's dirty. But back in the day, your big man used to kind of, you know what I'm saying, like send the message, like get off my guy, you know. And then Detroit traded for a guy, a fat dude that used to play for the Bullets. They were like, man, the dude got talent. He just fat. He just out of shape. He'll never be. By the time he get in shape during the season. So by the time the season over, he be in shape. But for what? Y'all done missed the playoffs. A dude off the Washington Bullets named Rick Mahorn, right? Rick Mahorn used to come. His whole job on the Washington Bullets was just to come off the bench and just hack up Pat Ewing or hack up Elijah or whoever, hack up Jack Sigma and going back to the bench.
The enforcer.
Yeah. And so they like he messed around and the Pistons. I think that's how the story goes because I saw it on a Bad Boys documentary, right? The Pistons were playing the Bullets. Both of the teams. One team was going to the playoffs. I think it was like 84. the Pistons were going to the playoffs, and the Bullets wasn't. But this dude, Rick Mahorn, kept coming off the bench, hacking up Bill Lambie, and Bill Lambie was loving it. He was smiling, I think Rick Mahorn busted his lip, and Bill Lambie was smiling with a bloody lip. Was like, I like that guy. And then they mess around and they traded for him, and then a thing is born. But what I'm getting at is the way the bigs then were like, you had to do all the dirty work, right? Nowadays, I think bigs, you have to get a guy to do dirty work. Like when I look at the Knicks right now, I don't even know if we have a dirty work guy.
We don't. I'm gonna tell you right now, we don't. Nobody on this roster fits that mold.
He's really not needed yet. He's not needed yet.
You remember the Knicks dirty work guys back in the day? You remember Truck Robinson?
Yeah.
But they're gonna need him.
Yeah, they're gonna need him. But they're
gonna need him.
Look, like they say, coming to a theater near you, it's coming soon. But right now, you got to get that playoff in you. You got to get beat up a little bit, and then you're going to add that. Because right now, we need talent.
Right. Bro, I don't know, man. I just think that the game back then, like for instance, in the city was gritty, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the last time we did this, I remember talking about how I used to be getting ready for school in the morning, combing my little natural out back in the day. You know, what was on the radio? What was on the Shannon? So let the music play. Probably playing on Kiss FM in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some Patrice Rushen.
Yes, sir.
Maybe some Evelyn Champagne King or something. You know, some
flashlight.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Some George Clinton. You know what I'm saying? Some Cool in the Gang. You know what I'm saying? On the radio, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to go to PS15. You know what I'm saying? You know, and getting ready, and they doing the little Knicks recap. The Knicks lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, 122-97, but the Knicks look good. You know what I'm saying? All the positive spin. We getting the dogs beat off us, and the dude. So for those that y'all don't know, like back in the day, we didn't get a lot of sports, right? We used to get, like, if you watch CBS, we used to get Warner Wolf used to have a segment that was like 3 minutes long.
Yep.
You had to sit through the news. You had to sit through such and such crime, such and such crime, such and such crime. Then you got to sit through the weather, such and such weather. Oh, it's gonna be another hot one in the city tomorrow. And then Warner Wolf will come on for like 3 minutes, and you be like, "Oh boy, this right here, right up my alley, right here."
They all used to come on at one. I used to time them. Warner used to come about 11:25. Warner used to come on like about 11:25. If it was 11 o'clock news, right. What's my cat name on WPIX? Gerard. His name was Gerard. He used to come on at like 10:55 for the 10 o'clock news. He had the last 5 minutes. I used to time him so I would catch him because that's all you had. And you know, that was Bill Mazer on Channel 5. He would come on like right around the same time. Mazer was the coolest because Mazer used to give you a trivia question.
Yeah.
They would have to ask a trivia question. And he was like 85%, you know, because he was an older dude and he'd been around since the early 1930s or some crap like that or whatever. Right. But you know, that was all you had as far as sports recap. That was it. Right.
Oh, you remember the sports machine? Remember the sports machine used to come on?
The sports machine on Sunday night.
Yeah, man. I used to look forward to this. Oh man. You talking about somebody that loved, bro, the sports machine? Oh my gosh.
Sunday night. Those guys though, if you know, as sports and sports media and journalism come on, they at some point they became like part of the deal, and not for a good way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when you had Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott was the first real brother that was giving you the brother sound, you know, day in, day out sound. But somehow, some way, somewhere like in the early 2000s, they started getting like these real antagonistic people to be on TV and radio. Right. And I'm like, you're not, when did it become that you were here to push the envelope instead of just making this segment feel good?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But like I literally remember one day Barry Bonds was on ESPN, and this is Pittsburgh Pirate Barry, and Barry was like, "Look, I refuse to give you this interview unless you show the entire unedited film."
Right.
Because they had a way of making him look bad right around that time. It would be like a 10, 15-second snippet of him being angry, or he yelled at somebody because young Bonds was full of vim and vinegar bags.
Yeah.
Tell him one day, like, look, I'm not gonna do this interview unless when you re-air it, it's uncut.
Right.
And the sad part about that is you can't control what the media does. Now, as a reporter, you can give good faith interviews and tell whoever the person that you're interviewing, hey, I'm gonna do my dead level best to make sure everything that you say is aired. But once that thing hits the production floor, you ain't got no control over that.
Right.
It's them guys in the truck.
Right.
And
they did the same thing to Bobby Bonilla. Remember Bobby Bonilla?
Yes.
When the Mets signed Bobby Bonilla, they did the same thing to Bonilla, bro.
Same.
They was like, Bobby, you batting. A reporter said. A reporter, no lie, stuck a microphone in Bonilla's face and said, "Bobby, your batting average is lower than your playing weight. What do you say to that?" And put the mic in his face
after a loss.
Yes,
yeah,
right. And so Bonilla was like, "Yo, what am I batting right now?" He was like 143, and Bonilla's like, "Well, yeah, I'll never weigh less than 143." So, you know what I'm saying? So you like, come on, man.
Like Bobby almost, him and Art, I think the gentleman was Art Spencer. I think his name was Art Spencer in the Mets locker room. When he tells Art, go ahead, make your move, because I'll hurt you.
But in fairness to Bonilla, as that dude had been riding Bonilla for weeks, bro.
Yes. But Art wasn't necessarily backing down. But I remember going, I'm a Yankee fan. I remember going, Art, you got to sit down, man.
Chill out, bro.
Like, because, there's no one really in between you and him. You got like two little flunkies carrying the camera on the side. Right. But they ain't gonna jump in. That's a professional ball player right there. Like, he's gonna hurt you seriously.
Right. And for Bonilla to be that mad. Bro, so my deal is this in the media and in settings like this, I don't like picking on people. Period. Right. I don't like picking on Knicks fans or athletes or none of that stuff, man, because it's one of them deals where the whole thing of bullying from a position of power to me is nonsense, bro. To me it don't make sense. It's abusive, right? Because the reporter has the pen, and he had been bullying basically Bonilla through the media for weeks. For weeks, right?
Yeah.
And Mets PR didn't step in. You know what I'm saying? Mets PR didn't step in like, man, cut him some slack, bro. Cut him some slack. No. Everybody go through slumps.
Everybody go through slumps. And in baseball, see, that's the one thing that baseball has over the other guys. You could be in a slump for a month, and it's like you die the same death every day.
Day after day. You're right.
See, baseball, it's day after day after. Baseball is you're successful if you're at 300.
Right.
That's 3 out of 10.
Right.
Nothing else in life is anything sub 500 successful, but in baseball, it is.
That's
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
And so the thing is with the media being in a position of power and bullying, they are relentless, man. They don't cut you any slack. It's one of the reasons why, as much as I love Pat Ewing, I think, man, the media just, what they did to Pat Ewing at times was borderline abusive, right? Because there were times where the team wasn't it, but Pat carried those teams anyway. Like I don't know if you remember, but in game 3 or 4, I forget whatever year the Knicks knocked off the Celtics dynasty. You remember the Celtics still had Bird and McHale and Ainge.
Harris.
And
Yeah,
Harris. I think they had just traded Danny Ainge to Portland because they had a young guy. They had 2 young guys, John Bagley and Reggie Lewis, that they were breaking into the. You know what I'm saying? That they were breaking into the lineup, and the Knicks went up, and that team had Gerald Wilkins, Mark Jackson, Charles Oakley, Johnny Newman, Kiki Vandeweghe, Kenny Skywalker. That team wasn't ready. That team wasn't
and
ready.
Maurice Cheeks.
Yeah, and so the Knicks had like a 1-point lead in the Boston Garden, and everybody else's offense was off, right? And somebody gets their shot blocked. Pat Ewing runs it down, stays in bounds, squares up and look at the 3-pointer from the corner, and takes it and makes it. And so I'm like, golly, Pat gotta chase down rebounds and knock down threes. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
And then so the Knicks wound up knocking off the Celtics in that series, and then wound up losing to the Bulls or the Pistons or somebody.
Pistons.
Right? And the media blames Pat Ewing for the loss. He can't carry a team. And then when you ask the reporter who's the second best player, it don't matter because this is Pat Ewing's team.
That was clickbait before it became clickbait.
Yeah.
It's totally clickbait before clickbait. And like I said, when you get a guy who's the franchise in a big market like this, those are some of the things he has to have. He's got to have thick skin.
Yeah,
it's just a part of it.
Yeah,
you gotta have thick skin when the times are bad, and you gotta have that swagger when the times are good.
Right.
You understand? Like, Derek Jeter was God around here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not just because on field and in his wins and and all the rings, but every time you saw a tabloid or whatever, swagger phenomenon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reggie Jackson, swagger phenomenon. I'm Mr. October.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Like when I enter the scene, I enter the scene.
Right. Right. But man, the Derek Jeter thing is something I wanted to touch on because the Derek Jeter thing, I think all of that stems back from basically Derek Jeter. Clyde Frazier is your grandpa.
Yes.
Clyde Frazier showed you how to do this.
Yeah.
Right? How to be the leader of a championship team, play at an all-star level, show up in big games, be accessible to the people, and at the same time carry the franchise on your back.
And lead from the front.
Yes.
Because that's what lead means. Out in the front.
That's right.
Yes.
You're not the one that's the last out of the locker room waiting for all the reporters to go.
Yes. That's where a lot of stars fail in New York. Like when guys come here and they want to be like they want to be the leader of the Knicks and get the Knicks from out of the doldrums. They want to do it from the back. They want all the shine, but then the darkness.
Unnamed, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted Amari to go as soon as I thought we could have let him go. Because if you remember during that that Jeremy Lin run, which was, you know, like nothing we've ever seen in this area before, short of a championship.
Right.
When everything in the whole world's focus is on this one guy.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you started hearing unnamed sources wants for Melo to do this, and unnamed sources want Melo to do that. And at one point, I was like, look, do you know Melo moved heaven and earth to get here?
Right.
Yeah.
And earth. And
You're talking about a man that's played 7 games.
Right.
Right? And when they went to Miami that second time, when he tried to dribble the ball up the floor and they took turns robbing him, they took turns raping him on TV.
Yeah.
First Chalmers, then LeBron, then Wade.
Yep.
You know, then when it came time for the playoffs and they asked him, so how you feeling there, Mr. Lin? Are you ready to go? Well, I'm 85%. You know, who says he's 85% and you can't play in the playoffs, G-Man, for like, please tell me.
Hey, thank you, David Fizdale, for being the architect of that defense. that got you paid, bro. David Fizdale, that got you paid. Congratulations, David Fizdale.
The man could not bring this is on the, I think it was his first like big national televised game. Mind you, don't get me wrong. I was excited as anybody, them Jeremy Lin games. I remember those games.
I do too. We thought that was going to be the savior, right? But
the man could not. He literally, because of how well he played, made D'Antoni go into the Knicks office and tell him, you either trade Melo or you let me go.
Yep. And to hear that now today, that sounds crazy as all get out, right? As crazy as all get out. But you know, I think that when we talk about from a historical aspect of the New York Knicks, that's who we've always been. We live in the moment, whatever the hot hand is, who's going to sell tickets, and whoever that special person is, that's who we want to center around. Whether foundationally they're sound or not, that's who we put. We putting all those eggs in one basket. Bro,
but that's New York City though, Jimmy. Look,
it is.
Because I remember, as a shorty, so we used to get like 5 channels. We get channel 2, channel 4, channel 7, channel 9, channel 11, channel 13, and then maybe if you lucky on UHF, you can grab some channels or whatever.
Right.
But let me see, 2, 4, 7, 5, 9, 11. Yeah, so 13. That's 13. Yeah. And so all the big guys, when you when commercials will come on, you'll be seeing the Rockettes at Rockefeller Center.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You seeing commercials, but you seeing Mama I Want to Sing, come on, commercials, Cats, Broadway plays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You seeing commercials for nightclubs, Silver Shadow. You know what I'm saying? You seeing all these commercials. Everything in New York is like glitzy and flashy. So even though even though we were poor, right? We were poor, but we didn't know we were poor. Right. Even though we were poor, we were like, yo, man, I can't wait to go to the city, man, so I can go, you know what I'm saying, go to Times Square.
I can't let you go a step further because you left out one of the great commercials of all times, the Hey Love album commercial.
Yeah.
The brother goes, yo man, can I borrow that? And goes, nah, you got to get your own.
You got to get your own.
You got to get your own. Yeah, man. The Halo. Oh my goodness. When we were kids, everything was so big time, man. The commercials were so big. Crazy Eddie, Sam Goody commercials. Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and so when we watched the Knicks, everything we expected from the Knicks was supposed to fall in line. Because we came from the era of Muhammad Ali being the biggest, in my eyes, when I was a little boy, the biggest star on the planet, sports entertainment, whatever, was Muhammad Ali.
Facts.
Was Muhammad Ali, bro. I mean, Muhammad Ali did something to the inner city that nobody else did to the inner city, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because there were people that were making more money. Like Wilt Chamberlain was probably making more money. You know what I'm saying? But Wilt Chamberlain wasn't Muhammad Ali.
He's just the guy amongst guys.
Right.
It's like if you got the Last Supper table, you know, he's the guy in the middle.
Right. He wasn't global. So and I think that as we transition,
that's a good way to put it. He wasn't an icon.
Exactly. As we transitioned from the 80s to the 90s, that's when you start getting to this global aspect. That's when Michael Jordan bust on the scene, and now all of a sudden, everybody in the world knows who Michael Jordan is. So now everybody in the world is watching basketball, and they pick and choose who they want to support, right? But I think that, you know, from a talent standpoint, I would not tell you. So I'm looking at the 92, 93 New York Knicks roster, right? So on this roster, you have Eric Anderson, Greg Anthony, Rolando Blackman, Tony Campbell, Hubert Davis, Patrick Ewing, Bob Kimball, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, Doc Rivers, Charles Smith, John Starks, and Herb Williams. Right?
You talking about Bo Kimball from Loyola Marymount?
Yes.
Bo Kimball, yeah. The combo guard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you introduce a Michael Jordan into this realm, all these guys get no shine, none whatsoever, at all. That they are substandard players in the world's eyes, right? So now you have to figure out, what do I need to do to make my franchise relevant? I'm telling you, I believe that if the Knicks front office had did a better job back in the day, we would be better situated today, right now. But I think we're on an incline right now. But I'm telling you guys, straight up, back in the day, the hype was around the Celtics, the Lakers, the Pistons, and the Bulls. New York was trying to find
going into the 90s, because in the 80s you couldn't find. I bet you I could walk from here to Seattle, Washington, and this is this is before Jordan, right? I could walk from my house to Seattle, Washington, and could not find 100 Chicago Bulls fans.
I agree, 100%.
Before Jordan.
They
don't know nothing about no Bob Love, no Jerry Sloan. They don't know nothing about it. Bulls fans. If a Bulls fan, so I mean, I've been a Bulls fan since the 70s. You lying your
shut your mouth.
That's marketing. That's marketing. And
yeah,
you know, at one point in time, the Knicks had a chance to get, I mentioned him earlier, who was in the Big East. They had a chance to get Dave Gavitt, to come in and run their show. You need marketing. Marketing means visionary, because once you got someone like that leaves no stone unturned, it's everything. It's the way your dancers dance. Is who you have sitting down front.
Yeah.
It's what's the after party like. It's everything. Facts. You see what I'm saying? Once you have all of those things in place, and you have someone who's the visionary, who's leading that right there, they're going to have those players and those things come to you. They're gonna funnel it there because everything just seems right. It seems like you know what you're doing.
Right.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? That's why the Lakers have always been the Lakers, because when the late Dr.
Jerry
Buss, he was like the West Coast George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, facts. I agree with that 100%.
When we get these players, not if we get these players, when we get these players, right? Think about it. How does the Lakers get a Magic Johnson when they already have Kareem
and Norm Nixon
and
and Jamal Wilkes
and like if they don't want the deck stacked, how could this happen? Why? Because they have a way of life. They got a way that we want how basketball to be shown, and
I'll be right back.
they got the Laker girls. They got this, and they win a championship. They fire the coach a year later. They bring in Pat Riley, and now you have a whole new something different. Now you have Showtime.
Yeah, Showtime Lakers.
Yeah,
facts.
You think they're gonna steer? You think they're gonna steer players to the Knicks or anybody else that don't know what to do with those guys?
No, absolutely not. So, AD, as you say that, let me ask you this: where do you think the failure came from a Knicks standpoint? Was it the front office? Was it coaching? Was it not getting talent?
Remember, the Knicks kept selling the team.
Yes.
Stuff.
Yeah.
At one point, it was from far back as I can, remember as a fan, it was Gulf and Western. Then this one bought out Gulf and Western. Then it took ITT Cablevision. Then this one bought out that. They kept turning over. It's as bad as remember when the Nets were in Jersey.
Yep.
As bad as the Nets were, the Knicks was kind of like the same thing, but it was just more of on the hush. The Nets had 7 owners at one point.
Oh yeah. But they don't get the same. They don't get the same burn that the Knicks get simply because of the market that the Knicks are in. Nobody was checking for the Nets at that point. Nobody.
If you have 7 owners and you don't have someone who's significantly in charge, how could you be successful?
You can't. There is no way possible. You cannot. And anybody that thinks different, you're delusional. I'm telling you right now, you are delusional. No way possible.
The Giants had 2 owners for a very long time, 2 different camps.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And it took somewhere the 2 guys, you have you can't say it's a happy coexistence because remember, you're 2 different people. So you're gonna have your idea and I'm gonna have my idea, but at some point in time in their successful periods, they were walking lockstep.
Yep. You have to agree to disagree and do what's better for the organization at the end of the day. That's what it's about.
Once you have instability at the top, it filters down.
I agree 100%.
Right.
And I don't think so let me ask you this, AD. When is the last time prior to this season that you felt like the Knicks had a stable front office before this season?
They were stable for a second when they hired, his name always skips me, that brought in Tyson Chandler. His name always skips me. He was from Toronto.
I got you. Yeah.
And they forced him to get Bayani, and they let him on the eve of the season to bring back Mills. His name always skips me. God. But you know what I'm talking, I know
exactly what you're talking about.
That was the last time they really had someone who had, even if you disagreed with their vision, but was aggressive in putting veteran pieces together around Melo. And that was the last good record that they had.
I agree, and people always talk about the Melo signing and how that set us back. We gave up a lot to get Melo to come to New York. And the argument could be made that the same thing happened when we got Stoudemire. You know what I'm saying? So however you look at these trades that were made, I think that once you make the trade, you have to be willing to build around whomever the player is that you bring in, right? And the coaching staff and all that, everything. Look, you can't have a superstar on the team and the coaching staff sucks or the front office is not doing what they need to do. It doesn't work. To your point, everyone has to be in lockstep. Everyone has to be sick. Everybody got to be drinking from the same Kool-Aid factory. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether it's grape or cherry or red or whatever you want to say it is, everybody's got to be drinking from the same Kool-Aid factory.
It filters down.
It does. It absolutely does.
In anything, whether it's basketball, in any sport, if the organization, if the instability shows and you don't have that one person or that set of people that are moving in the right way, it's going to show.
And I think this is the thing.
Success, if you don't maintain it, eventually you'll crack the infrastructure.
Absolutely. So I think this is what people underestimate as well, right? So when you out there for 40 plus minutes, you running up and down the court, and you at the foul line, these guys are talking, bruh. I'm out there. Look, me and AD at the free throw line, right? Somebody shooting free throws. I'm up here trying to box AD out. I'm smaller in stature, but I'm in AD's. I'm like, hey, bruh, I know the situation you in right now is not beneficial to you right now, right? I got it on good authority that the position you play will be open on this team in the next 10 days. Call your agent. If you want to come here and get down, call your agent. That goes on all the time. All the time. So
how can you stop that?
You can't.
These guys today, they hang out with each other in the off season.
Yes.
They go to the same clubs. They like the same music. You see what I'm saying? They travel in the same circles. They wait for one to stop with this woman, then they pick up right back after that woman. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You see what I'm saying? For you not to have relationships with them, to be able to pull a couple of them together, that's mind-boggling.
That's crazy. So
that's
let me
on the outside.
Let me ask you this. And I know we're talking old school right now, but this just popped in my head as soon as you said that. Because I was watching, I forget what I was on, but I saw this when they started talking about the whole Cam Reddish deal. So how what's the word I'm looking for? Do you think this is possible? When I name these players I'm about to name, we already have RJ Barrett on the team, right? We go out and get a Cam Reddish, and at some point we bring Zion to the team. You think that's feasible, or is that a pipe dream?
I think it's some of both. You see, because things can turn.
Yes, absolutely.
Today Zion could be talking that, and you're hearing from his family or whatever, but New Orleans may just bring in that coach who has that culture that looking for.
Right.
And they're able to get a couple of guys there, else that makes him happy. And wins, nothing makes anyone happier than wins.
Facts. Say that one again. In my Ron Cleveland voice, say that one again, because that's important. Winning feels everything.
You see what I'm saying? So if you don't strike, it's okay. Since we're right there, let's go back. Remember at one point, the Knicks were on so-called AD's short list.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that conversation.
Right? So-called hires, what's the name? You're hearing that Clutch Sports wants major footing in the New York tri-state area, whatever. AD mentions it. Whether you believe it or not, obviously they didn't get it done because he's not here.
Right. Facts. I think that a lot of times, and some of this is agents doing what agents do, right? I want to make this the sliding hand trick, right? I want you to look over here, pay attention to this right here. I'm gonna put a lot of time and energy in here, so you don't see what this hand over here is doing. So this hand over here is really the machine, but I got everybody watching this right here. I done went on TV. I done said this, that, and the third. But this hand right here is making the deal of what I really want to do. And I think people miss out on that. So, I don't put a lot of dynamic in or a lot of thought process into when you get, I get a Twitter feed or a text or whatever. Somebody saying, hey, AD is talking about trading to the Knicks. Okay, so what? Talk to me when the deal is done. I don't care about all this in between. Talk to me when this is over. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me into all this hoopla and hyperbole. Ain't got time for that. Now, once you ink the deal, we good. We can talk about that. But anything before that, I'm not giving you any airtime. Why should I?
And part of that is our fault because we've been so bad.
Yes, for so long.
See, you can be the butt of a joke when you that bad.
Yep, facts. Boy, look,
and you have such a loyal fan base that it's almost like a mama joke. You know what I mean? Your mama might have yelled at you a second ago, but walk outside and you and your boys is talking or whatever, and someone says your mom or something, immediately it's
That's poking the bear, baby. That's poking the bear. You don't want to poke the bear.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because we love our team so much, and they know we do. So I could throw that story out.
Yeah,
I could throw that story.
You're right. You 100%.
And we're gonna jump on it. No other. I don't know that maybe the Cowboys fan base, Yankees, Chicago, Philadelphia, the Eagles. That just is year in, year round passionate like that.
It's a couple of them out there, but from a basketball standpoint, I myself truly believe that there is no other basketball franchise as passionate as Knicks fans. I believe that in my heart of hearts. In my heart of hearts, I do.
Hey, look, I got a question. What is the correlation between Noel Owens' contract and Mitchell? Why people think that that's a big deal? Like, since they got him, it's, the worth of what the worth of that contract really is.
I don't think people know. I really don't.
It's a 3-year deal for $32 million, and the third year is team option. Mitch got 1 year left on his contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Won't that put Noel's contract at 1 year?
Yeah.
It would basically giving him the $32 million was the Knicks telling Noel, thank you for playing with us. But
Pretty
that
much
really doesn't coincide anything about Mitch. And people are always putting Mitch, Noel, and now this guy Sims with Mitch. If this guy Sims keep on playing, Mitch in trouble, won't that put Noel in trouble? How does that put Mitch in trouble?
I think it's either or, and I say either or because this is a big year for Mitch. This is a real big year for Mitch.
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I think Mitch is going to get signed. The only way Mitch is out of here if Cat is coming. Any other trade? I don't see any other thing what the Knicks are doing right now as far as getting their guards together, got the power forward together. And as far as the three is concerned, RJ is at the 3. So it would have to be something big going to move Mitch. Because if Mitch plays a season, like I said, I don't consider broken bones injury prone. Soft tissue injuries to me is injury prone. AD is injury prone. Soft tissue. You break a bone, anybody can break bones. That's a mishap. But if you're just running down the court and you fall down because of a hamstring 3 times a year, I can say you're kind of injury prone. But if you break a bone 2 times in 1 year, you just had bad luck.
Well, it's not just the injury stuff with Mitch. I think it's a couple of things.
Don't you mention his agent?
Well, which one of them? He had like 7.
His business.
No. What I'm saying is he needs to get everything in order. He needs to have.
If you're not happy, look, this is the analogy I put with that. Well, back in the day when I was in trouble, I fired 5 different lawyers to get the one that I wanted.
Right.
Everybody was saying what that I was doing. Check this out. I'm the only one who didn't go to prison.
Right. I mean, I think it's important for you to have someone, especially if you have a face speaking on your behalf when you're not in the room. You got to be able to trust that person explicitly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that person has to have your best interest at heart.
Exactly.
And you have to have it in your mind that if I send AD into a room, I know he's going to orchestrate the best deal that he can do based on our mutual benefit, right? Because where I win, he gets commission, right? So he's going in there and he's negotiating like a lion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think for Mitch, I think what it is Knicks fans, as we've always been, we tend to be enamored with the shiny new thing that's out there, right? We think that the shiny new thing is going to get us to where we need to be or take us over the top. When we talk about,
hold on, let me say this right, House. Greenhouse, that's not true. That is not true, Greenhouse. Not at all. Nobody said that. You can't find that.
Okay, so for those of y'all, okay, Freezy just put it on the screen. No, because they're saying the starting position is up for grabs and the backup position is good with Noel. Okay, so I agree with Rod the Nick, right? So I'm telling you right now, we all have a premonition of what we think the starting roster is going to look like for the Knicks this year. We all think we know what it is based on who's signed right now and who's going to play. We don't know that. We have no idea what the roster is going to look like. We have to wait until the first game of the season rolls out and we do what we do. Yes, Sims is definitely showing prospect and what he could bring. But again, look at where you drafted Mitch at. Mitch didn't play at all last year, and Mitch is not a scrub by any stretch of the imagination. That's all I'm saying. So if you feel like you want to write him off now, go ahead.
No, it's not about writing him off, G-Man. When I said that about Mitch, it's time for Mitch to get his game together.
I agree.
Consistently.
It depends what are you looking for Mitch to do. Okay. See me, I'm not Mitch.
I need him to lock down. I need him to lock down what he's good at.
Right.
Do we know what that is?
He's trending in that direction.
But do we know what that is?
You see, 8 points, and I'm not as much as with the points. 8 rebounds to me, and 2.5 blocks, or a block and a half, or I can't remember how much he averaged. I think might have been a block and a half. To me, that's not good enough when you're supposed to be playing the bulk of the minutes. Because
let me tell you, let me just say this to you about that. I'm gonna address that what you just said, and I'm gonna let you continue. The best defense played by the center is you're not coming in there. It's not on the stat sheet. If you're not coming in there, I'm doing my job. If I'm leading the lead in offensive rebounds, I'm doing my job. Continue.
I agree with that, but
Rob, you have to elaborate on the way you said that, though, bro. Because basically, what Rob and Nick are saying is the best defense is the deterrent. Right?
Yes, I agree with that. But
that's what Rob and Nick is saying.
But let me give you someone I liken to Mitch, or I think that Mitch could be, or that was underrated. Quinn Capella. When Houston got rid of him to make more space in the lane for 2 ball-dominant people, they thought somehow that they could revolutionize the game, and like you don't need that consistent force in that middle that grabs those loose balls, that covers the wing on either side, that can get back and block shots. You see what I'm saying? And play those bulk of minutes. Quinn Capella is not Mitch's size and skill and skill raise and as fast as Mitch and so forth. But look how consistent his game has been.
Quinn Capella haven't played in a year and a half until this year. He was out a year and a half. So when you say that, you got to also put that in there. This man ain't been there for a year and a half. You're going by what he did. Now he had a couple good games in the playoffs, but Mitch wasn't there. But when Mitch played him when Mitch went up against him during the season, Mitch served him.
No. I'm talking about what he gives his team.
But that's what he gives us.
What he
went on the court.
No, but he gave his team in Atlanta, and what he did for his team prior to Houston trading him, those consistent doubles, Those consistent double-doubles and there every night. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, but you got to also look at Capella like this here. Capella walked in the league. He was on the bench for 2 years, then started to play, then got the contract, then got hurt again. Mitch doesn't. You're not giving Mitch that to even get there.
You think someone right now is gonna break the bank for Mitch right now?
Mitch gonna get more than Noel's.
Yes. We could agree to that. Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Right now today. So we're looking at
Mitch needs consistency in his game. You can't argue,
I wouldn't say that. I say Mitch needs just to be on the court. Mitch was hurt. I think this year, if Mitch would have stayed on the court, you would have seen everything that you're talking about because he's trending in that direction. Mitch is trending in that direction. Mitch is the only center in the league that can cover a three-point shooter.
Yes.
Block his shot and get back. And get the offensive rebound and run up the court. Mitch was doing all of this without a point guard. His offensive is struggling. Look what we had. That if Elton Payton affected the rest of the team, imagine what it did to Mitch. So with that being said, you look at Mitch like this. Say, I don't need Mitch to ever fire a three-point shot for me to be happy with Mitch. I don't need that because when I look at the league, nobody can point to me that any team that won a championship with a center that was shooting threes.
Yeah. Maybe
the 4. So why is it so important for us to have our 5th guy shooting threes when it's unprecedented in the NBA right now as it stands today? Joker having won. You know what I'm saying? Who won a championship. Everything else is a defensive center. You got 4 people putting up the points plus the bench. Somebody got to anchor the defense, and that's more important to me than Mitch scoring the ball from 3. You know, for him to get a drop step move down in the paint, okay, that's granted. For him coming off the pick and roll on the elbow, shooting a 15-footer, that's granted. But anything else, I don't care nothing about at all. So when somebody can tell me that somebody won a championship with a center doing that, that's when I'll go just like this here. That's what we need. But right now, there's no need. But everybody wants that, like Saad said, a shiny new toy that never won a championship. That's like, I don't need that. Give me them other 4 putting the ball in the basket. Give me my bench. You give me Joel's who's going to block, who's going to play certain amount of defense towards Mitch. And then the scoring is on the rest of them. I'm an offensive rebound the ball. I'm going to give you more chances. I'm going to keep the paint clean for you. Y'all do your job. Now, Mitch needs to perfect his skill. I'm 100% with you on that. Just perfect it. But right now, with the 2 years that he had with Fizdale and all of them, he gets a break.
Yeah.
You know, so this contract with Noel's, to me, as far as I'm looking at it, it's a 1.5 year deal. He's good this year. Mitch have a good season. If they have to trade him halfway through next season, then you can do that if Sims come through. But Mitch was supposed to be in trouble when Noel's came next year. He erased him from day one, game 1. That was over. So I don't like the fact that people are trying to compare Sims to Mitchell. You better put him with Noel's. We already know who's going to be the starting center on this team if those 3 are there. It's going to be Mitch. A healthy Mitch is going to start before them 2. Guaranteed.
I need a healthy Mitch to finish. I need a healthy Mitch to play the bulk of the minutes.
Oh, yes. Now, look, he stayed out of foul trouble until he got hurt. That's trending in the right direction.
That's it. That's it. For him to lock down what he does well. That's it. Because if Mitch does what we said he can do, you just up the Knicks another 3 to 4 points a game. It's a lot of points, especially down towards the end of the game, where you can count on him to get back, to guard that 3-point shooter, get back into the lane, trigger a fast break. Those things count.
Yeah,
You get
that's
fouled.
what he does.
Count. He just has to be on the floor.
On the floor.
On what he does well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All the other things will take care of itself if he does that.
On the floor, and then it's no problem. On the floor. You put him on the floor, I don't think there's a problem.
I would say this. I would think that right now, if the season started tomorrow, Tibbs will start Mitch at the 5. No question. No question in my mind that will happen. So the bench play is where the question would come in. And where Tibbs, if he sees enough, and I don't think right now, today, I don't think he's seen enough in Sims to start him over Noel, but I think it's coming. I wouldn't do that if I was them, because you have a guy, you see.
Sims gonna be in the G League, man.
Sims gonna be in the G League. He need to be in the G League.
He's gonna be in the G League.
Yeah, unless you have a move that you're, somewhere in Christmas or by the trading deadline, you figure, well, whatever, you're moving the Wells because Sims has progressed that much and you well into it. No, you don't want him to sit on the bench with all this game in, game out, dog eat dog play if he's not getting run. You want him to work on his game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the same thing for any of our rookies who are not getting run. I wouldn't, you don't want them all there just sitting there as practice fodder. You want them to get run. Work on your craft. Get run.
I don't know if I agree with y'all on that, bro. And because the reason why I say that is not just to be on the opposite side, but hear me out. I would rather for Jericho Sims to practice every day against a high caliber NBA starting center than to get run in a G League against a centers are not gonna, not gonna get better, not gonna make them better.
Yep.
Right. I would rather, and I'm saying throw him to the fire, but I'm not saying throw him to the fire in a sense where he's gonna be starting. But I would rather Jericho Sims go up against Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson every day in practice and get coached up every day by quality NBA coaches, as opposed to getting coached by second-rate coaches and playing against guys that'll probably never make it to the league. And even though it'll build confidence through repetitions and such, I don't know if in this case it will work. Now maybe it takes a combination of both. You know what I'm saying? Get some, get coached up, sent down to the G League, get coached up, go down to the G League, you know what I'm saying, and work on something. Maybe it's a combination. But I don't want to see Jericho Sims in 2 years. I would rather see Jericho Sims I would rather see Jericho Sims with this team, but being coached up by Kenny Wooten. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Wooten is guaranteed to make your big man better. Right? That's the one thing about being with the big club. Being with the big club, you're gonna get coached by elite NBA coaches. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Wooten took Anthony Davis, who was just an athlete going into Kentucky. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna teach you 3 moves, right? But we're gonna start with one. We're gonna start you with a pivot, you know what I'm saying, a drop step, baby hook, right? And then once you get that baby hook down pat where it's unstoppable, we're gonna get you a counter to that baby hook, right? And then once you have those 2 down, we're gonna incorporate a pump fake where you can get back to your first 2 moves, right? And from there, Anthony Davis was the best player in college basketball. He did the same thing with Karl Anthony Towns. He did the same thing with Skylar, BCA, and others, right?
Yep.
So what I'm saying to that is let me see Kenny Wooten coach up Jericho Sims some. You know what I'm saying? And because I believe in the point, send him down to the G League, get him reps every day. But I also would like to have him coached up, get development from high level coaches and play against high level talent. What do you think, Rob?
I agree 100%. That's why That's why he's on the two-way, so he can do both. But like people just want to throw him right there on the team, but and I see he's a physical specimen and he's athletic, but anything other than that, it's like a skill set is like I don't see yet. I see brute force, I see athleticism, and now let's work on what else he can have. I've seen some high school highlights of him, he has some things in his bag, but a loss of confidence, NBA stuff, we need to see where he's gonna be. But I know, looking at the roster, I don't see no spot for him right now unless you're gonna carry the 15. Then you can probably sit him on the 15, but you can't see him in the 12-man roster. I can't.
No, definitely not in the rotation yet.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
not.
Exactly.
Definitely not in the rotation. Unless he shows something in training camp that we haven't seen, he definitely ain't getting in the rotation. Because whose spot he gonna take? Obi?
No.
Yeah, he ain't doing that.
We're not doing that. We are definitely not doing that.
Because Mitch and Noel are gonna play.
Yeah.
Right?
They are. That's why they signed them. They're definitely gonna play.
Yeah, man.
And they supposed to play.
They do. Let's be honest. They are supposed to play based on what they bring to the squad. That's why they signed them again. Right. Let's not get crazy, right? Knicks fans, I'm gonna tell you this. We all have our favorite players, right? But at the end of the day, none of that matters. I'm gonna tell you why it don't matter. Because what we're doing right now is we're doing what's best for the squad, right? I've watched these guys in summer league, and they show promise. But you're playing against a lesser aspect from an NBA standpoint, right? So don't get it twisted. I actually went outside of my house, and my neighbor's probably mad at me right now. Shot off fireworks when Obi Toppin scored 31 points in the summer league. I did that. I did that. I did.
That's your boy.
That's my guy. I did that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm a realist, right? So just because he scored 31 points in summer league doesn't mean that increases burn during the regular season playing behind Julius Randle. Those two things don't equate. That math problem, that's not a math problem. That's somebody in La La Land right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to turn this into an Obi Toppin show, but I will say this. I was proud of my boy in the summer league. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? I was proud of my boy in the summer league.
He better not be Kenny Skywalker.
I don't think
Kenny Skywalker, the skill set way different.
Yeah, way different.
Look, this guy said on Nick what Nick film or whatever. I think that he said something that was real interesting about Obi. He said Obi can be the size of a small center, but he has the skill set of both a small forward and a power forward. And sometimes in his head, when he gets to the basket, he just doesn't know sometimes what he can do because he can do both. But he's trying to figure out what he can do well. And that's the dilemma. And I kind of agree with that.
I agree, because if you see Obi, when he gets to take the play in the summer league where he was down court all by himself. I don't think he knew whether he needed to dunk the ball or just lay it up. And he ended up laying it up. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? So he's still trying to figure himself out.
He can jump a whole lot higher than I thought, seeing him really in minutes.
Yes.
Obi can get up.
He can. He can.
His athleticism that he brings is like...
his pops is Dunker's delight.
Yeah. But the speed and quickness on how fast he gets up the floor, he runs like a guard.
He does. He absolutely does. Absolutely.
We have
100%.
to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Look, and in order to do that, we got to have a point guard on the floor they can capitalize on that
Hey, but
ability.
G-Man, but you know who else can do that?
Who?
Kenny Skywalker.
No,
See,
couldn't he fall? Kenny Skywalker ran up the sidelines and fell.
I know.
so
I know.
so
Because the thing is with Kenny Skywalker, bro, Kenny Skywalker, first of all, he was so athletic. He had so many athletic gifts that he was awkward doing stuff. Right?
He couldn't dribble.
Right. He couldn't He couldn't dribble. He could barely pass accurate. And his confidence was shook. Right? I mean, his confidence was shook in New York, bro.
Couldn't shoot. All he can do is jump.
Yeah, and run. He could run, and he was an excellent run and jump athlete.
So
Right.
He was a deer. He
So-
could have been a deer.
So
Right.
we're saying that Kenny Skywalker was dependent on a guard to get him the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he still fumbled it.
Right. but in the open court, bro, in the open court, this cat, I'm willing to say that Kenny Skywalker was a top 20 athlete in the NBA during his time in the league.
Oh my
Now I ain't
goodness.
talking about skills. I'm not talking about skills.
Okay, please,
I'm
please.
talking about athleticism.
I was about to say, please
Because-
clarify.
Because I tell you, I'll give you another name. Terrence Sansbury was probably a top 10 athlete in the NBA during his
I
time.
don't know about that.
A top 40.
Terrence
lady.
Sansbury? Bruh.
Terrence Stansbury just did something that Cats was doing on the blacktops for
Oh,
years.
yeah, on the playground, right? He just
Yeah,
brought
he
it up there. Yeah, that's all he
he
did.
was the first dude to do a 360, and everybody went, "Wow!"
And we done seen it 100
When
times.
he did a 360.
He did a
Oh, in the
360
dunk contest.
in the dunk contest.
Yeah.
He was the first guy to do a 360 in the dunk contest.
Yeah,
But yo,
yeah.
gentlemen, I want not to veer, but to veer. Did anyone see that latest Netflix doc, Malice in the Palace?
No, I
I
didn't
was
see it.
I was about to watch that tonight. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm about to watch it.
Well, not to spoil it, because I'm sure y'all gonna see things that y'all have seen 1,000 times before.
Yeah,
The thing is, with me, I'm like, how many times are we gonna replay this ugly part of the NBA history? That's just my thing.
you know what? AD, this is what I think it revolves around, right? I think that people are so afraid of looking forward to the next step and have us evolve. We have to keep focusing on the negative, right? Because negative sells. People want to see controversy. People want to see when people don't get along. People want to see people fight on TV. Why? I don't know. Well, that's what they want to see. But we as an organization have to move past all that, right? That's the reason that Malice of the Palace is on Netflix right now. I can go on Netflix right now, click on it, and watch it. There's a reason why it's there, because they know it's going to get viewership.
Right.
So how do you combat that? Don't go to the negative, go to the positive. Figure out what it is. And the positive is not on Netflix right now, but we this platform right here and platforms like this is how we get our message across, and the messaging is important, because I don't want to talk about the Malice in the Palace. That was years and years and years and years and years ago. Why are we talking about something that happened 10 years ago? Why? For what?
That was 20 years ago, right?
It was. While you playing, it was.
About 17, yeah, about 17. It's not even like some kind of anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. So for this is what I want people to understand. So everybody that's watching right now, and everybody that will rewatch, I will say this: you could be anywhere in the world that you want to be, but thank you for being here with us. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for being here with us with old school Knicks. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell. So when Freezy gets a wild hair and has something going on, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I think
right here is overdue.
I think Freezy alone is keeping the memory of Kenny Skywalker alive.
Yo, hey, but this right here is overdue, and the reason why the reason why it's overdue is because when we do live streams, so many people want to talk about the moment. They were like, "Did you see that three Quentin Grimes missed from the corner?" Yeah, I get it. It's a time and place for that.
Right.
But then it's also a time and place for me to be able to give the roses to old school Knicks fans. Right. Let them have their say. Because everything ain't gonna be like, did you see Kemba do such and such? We get it. We get it. I get it. Everybody want to be in the moment, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? When you go to the barber shop and you hear dudes talk about the old school joints and all of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or when you getting out of church and you see all the old heads huddled up, burning Newports or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's when you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, when at a family gathering, when you see all the old dudes talk about, you know what I'm saying, how Reggie Jackson walked by them and didn't get him an autograph back in the day, or back how they used to drive a fly OJ back in the day, navy blue with the sky blue crushed velvet interior with the Playboy knobs and the fuzzy dice in the mirror. Fact. I mean, dudes talk like, and that's what we doing here with the old school dudes. You know what I'm saying? With old heads, we want to talk about what it is, like how we felt when Shane was on the radio, Evelyn Champagne King, the Yankees was winning the World Series, and the Knicks was just about to draft Bill Cartwright. You know, it's all these different, you know what I'm saying? We want to talk about some of that stuff too. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk about how, you know what I'm saying, how the first time, like one of the first balls I heard when I was on the stoop, right? With no lie, I had a Daily News in my hand, had a quart of juice, right? And my homeboy had bought his double deck radio out the house, right, with the extension cord. He reached it all the way from his mama window. He took the cord out his mama window, right? Because we couldn't afford batteries, because batteries used to be like $2.
Yeah.
Who got $2 for batteries, bro?
Nobody.
He took his mama extension cord and stuck it out the window and hooked the radio up to it. And this dude said, and this dude was rapping to a beat that we heard the year before. It was, you know, dude said, and what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat.
Yes, sir.
It's for crew and my squad. We're gonna try to move your feet. I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. And I was like, yo, this dude is talking over the music. What's happening? Because when he said, when he said, and what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's crazy. Because when we were shorties, like when we used to go to the auditorium and the principal used to come up to the mic, he used to do the mic check.
That's right.
Y'all sit y'all bad behind down. Miss Smith, I see your class back there cutting up. Miss Smith, am I gonna have to call you to the office? And Miss Smith would be like, yo, you gonna call me to the office?
Oh my God.
I'm giving y'all homework. You know what I'm saying? Then we sit all still like, I ain't want no homework. It's Friday. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know, all these feelings of what it's like. All these feelings of what it's like when you get back to this Knicks thing. You know what I'm saying? About like what was times like when you couldn't watch the game, but you had to follow in the box score. Like, yo, who was E. Monroe? Who was Steve Frazier? Who was W. Reed? You know what I'm saying? You got to, W. Reed was 11 for 17 last night. You know what I'm saying? In the Daily News with Bill Madden and all of that stuff. Jay Boogie, what's good?
What's going on with y'all, man? How you doing, my brothers, man? My brothers for life, man, for real, man. Sergeant Nick, a.k.a. G-Man for life. You know what I'm saying? What's good with y'all? Who that right? I can't see who that is with the blockage up, man.
Rob the
Nick. Okay, what's happening with you, my brother, man, on this glorious Sunday, man?
What's up, Jay Bugs?
What's going on with y'all? I just came out to hang out for a few, man. Right now, I'm on a mission, man. You know, I got this money running on these hours right now. Freezy already know where I'm at. Talked with him about that a little bit earlier. You know what I'm saying? But I got a little break right now, so I wanted to come through and share some of that, man. And you talking about that dude that was talking on the mic. You know, he might got the only bar that nobody has ever said in life again. And it was real simple. He said, and I would like to say hello.
Right.
I don't. Nobody has ever said that on the mic. I like to say hello.
Right.
You know what's wrong with saying hello to somebody, man? We don't say use those type words no more. Hello. You know what I'm saying? It's just, yo, what up? How you?
Yeah.
It's no hello, how you doing no more. What's up? How you? I'm good. That's it. You didn't tell me how you doing. I'm good. That's it. But man, those good old yesteryears, I hear y'all talking about, not being able to see some of them games, waiting on Warner Wolf, you know what I'm saying, to come on about 11:20, you know what I'm saying, to give you the score of the game if you didn't see it. Because I'm one of the worst beatings I ever had in my life was watching the Knicks game. I was up, watching Ray Williams and Michael Ray Richardson go against Dennis Johnson and Ray Williams' brother Gus Williams in Seattle. Those games used to come on late, 10:30. Man, my mom snuck in my room. It was in the third quarter. I got my little black and white TV, you know what I'm saying? With my aluminum foil on my antenna.
Yes.
Man, she came in there and gave it to me. Boy, you know you got to you ain't gonna all over basketball. So I got a beating of love for the Knicks in my life, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, great old times, man. Great, it's good to be able to talk about those old times and old games and stuff like that at our age. And when y'all young ones don't want to hear is when we telling y'all about how it used to be back in the days and all that. What you need to do is reach our point in age and talking about your squad when they become old. See, that's the great thing about us, to be able to get old in our numbers and still be able to talk about life. When today in society, so many of us is passing away so young. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm challenging all my young ones out here to stop some of this nonsense and become old heads. To be an old head.
Right.
Facts.
You know what? What Jay Boogie just said is so impactful, and this is why, right? Because up until my daughter got her first acceptance letter to college, I still thought I was young. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm in a different generation. But now I got to step across, the threshold and be like, the realization is, hey, dude, you old. Not old, but you were old school right now. Because the music that she listens to, I don't listen to. I can't even relate to that. And then I think back to when I'm in the house with Mom Dukes, right? And she like, what is it you listening to? I'm like, this is the next best thing. She like, no. I still want to hear Earth, Wind, and Fire, Frankie Beverly, Patti LaBelle, and Aretha Franklin. That's what I'm listening to, right? But, I say all that to say this. All those things I just mentioned are on my playlist right now, today. Because on Saturday morning when you get up, when you hear that music, you know what's about to go on. Get up, clean up
everything.
Everything. You got to clean everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. And I think more than anything, what's most important is being able to transition that knowledge base that we have as the old school cats, as those cats that we think that teenagers don't want to hear from. You got to be able to transition that and keep pushing that thing forward. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep pushing that thing forward.
Right. And watch some of these old games. I watch games, any clippings and stuff like that before my time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see Elgin Baylor play.
Right.
I didn't see the logo play, Jerry West.
Right.
To hear the older cats talk about him, and the love that I have for the game, which I got from the older cats, make me want to do a little research, and because it's respect. You know what I mean? I can't, ever see a time where I don't respect the dudes before me, whether I agreed with them or not.
Right.
So when I hear the younger cats, like when I heard Steven Jackson disrespect Walt Clyde Frazier, I wanted to jump. I wanted to leap through the screen.
Right.
Like, like my guy, Puma's still cutting him a check.
Still, bro. But still. And so we gotta let these veterans live, bro. You got to let the part of being a veteran, is going through something during a trying time, right? Walking it, you know what I'm saying? Walking it and modeling it, and then be able to pass that down to the generations. And the reason why I say that is because, so I was born during the Vietnam era, right?
Right.
I was born during the Vietnam era, right? And so what happened was, during my time, cats was coming back from the military. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, I'll never forget my Uncle Leon. He was about 6'6", 6'7", right?
Cats is coming back looking like what's that dude? Edward Scissorhands.
Bro.
Facts.
Edward Scissorhands. That's not even a game. That's facts.
Right. And so like, my uncle came back, and I don't remember him leave. I was too young to remember him before he left, right? But you know what I'm saying? I remember like some stuff. I was like 6 or 7 when he left. But when he got back, yo, I was like a teen, or right at teen, like 11, 12, 13 when he got back, right? And he used to tell me stuff like, yo, he was like, yo, Uncle Freezy, I'll walk out of here and kill everybody at Journal Square. And I'm like, what?
Right now, today.
Right now, if somebody bump me, I'm killing everybody at it. And listen, this is sad now. This is, I'm like, oh, what? He like, bro, I'm telling you. And then he messed around and gave me something, because he was a Marine, and he gave me something, right? He gave me something from his army, from his Marine days. He's like, keep this for the rest of your life. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna cherish this, right? He's like, and so he passed a little something on, because he was a lifelong Marine. Like, when he left as a country boy that moved to the city, right? Moved to the city for a little bit, couldn't find a job. Back then, back in the 60s, you couldn't find jobs, bro. Not a good one.
That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? So he joined the Marines and he came back, bro.
But before you continue, I got one question for you. Did he give you the globe?
No. But
better than that, Freezy. Hold on, Freezy. Let me throw in my question to you. When you saw him walking around the block in July with the green army jacket on, you were like, yo.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I'm gonna leave him alone today, because he's just he's not feeling well today.
Right,
he ain't that dude that he was before he left.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's because he done seen so much stuff. But them dudes, they like, well, my uncle, he came back with money, you know, he came back with some stuff. And like, he came back with a record collection, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'll be sitting with him, and he's like going through him and some other guys that him and some veterans that met after they got back. Like, they didn't meet in Vietnam, or they go to basic training together, but they met on the streets and they form a connection. You know what I'm saying? Because so you see him, you see a dude with an army coat on, and they'll walk up to each other and they'll be like, yo, man, yeah, man, I'm 82nd Airborne, blah, blah, blah. I did such and such, man, you know, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yo, man, I did such and such. And he's saying whatever his Marine stuff is. And they'll connect and they'll drink a beer and they'll sit there and be talking about Nam. I'm like, we've been talking for like an hour, man. And Uncle's like, Uncle Freezy, shut up. Wow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shut up. And because back then,
know your place.
A child had to know his place.
Know your place.
But AD, listen, I was 12, bro. I was 12. Wasn't no grown man talking to me like that. I was 12, bro. I'm a grown man, bro. I'm 12 years old. Do you know what I do to you? You know what I'm saying? This is my mindset now. Now, mind you, this dude is 6'7" Marine that had been to war. If he put his hands on me, it would have been a wreck for Uncle Freezy, right? But I'm like, hey, my Uncle Leon, he liked, because I was fearless for some reason. I was fearless, right? Wasn't scared of nothing, and I should have been, because I was in Jersey City. I should have been scared of everything.
You should have been.
I just wasn't. I don't know why that is, and that I'm not bragging on that, man. Because now that I look back on some of them situations,
it was stupid.
It was stupid. Exactly. Exactly. So, but the thing I was getting at is he passed stuff that, like, he let me take his records, right? Some of his records. So I would get my uncle Pumpkin, my uncle Leon, you know what I'm saying, my pops. I would get some of these records and I'd take them outside, and we would take those records outside because my homeboy Keith from across the street got turntables from Radio Shack when turntables was set $75. His mom bought them too in the 70s, $75.
Yeah, those was the straight arms.
Yeah.
Come on, no bent arms, man.
That's how I started.
Bro, and my homeboy and I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but so back in the day we had a blackout in the tri-state area. I think it was like 76, 77.
77.
Right? So my moms and them used to keep us in the house, right? So that's why when I got out the house, I was like the wildest dude. I was like, you ever had a dog that you know what I'm saying, that go to like the vet and to the groomer and get manicured and all that stuff and be, you know, well kept and all that stuff, and then when he go outside, he think he a junkyard dog. That was me.
Wow.
That was me, because my moms and them kept me in church, kept me in school, kept my hair cut, kept me fed. I stayed in school, you know, I used to have to say yes, ma'am, and no, sir, and all that. But when I got out in the street, bro, I was like a wild animal, bro. Dudes in the street, like, somebody gonna kill his young. He's crazy. It was because I was, my family was so strict that if I ever got an inch, I was gonna take a yard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
it's called you got an uncle walking around in a green jacket in August.
right. Yeah, and he got friends, and all of them crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, but I used to get their records, like, and we'd come out because my man Keith from across the street, his mom bought the turntables, but she wouldn't buy no records. She was like, "You begged me for these turntables, you gonna get your own records." And Keith's like, "Mom, how the hell am I gonna get records?" You know, that's how he said. And so I bring the records out, and what we used to do is we'll go out to the park, set up in the park, and set us up a little tip jar, and we'll play music out in the park. The old heads, all the play. I didn't know nothing about, like, the players and the hustlers and the dudes getting money and all that stuff. All I knew is they'll be like, "Yo, Uncle Freezy, you got that joint by the OJs? You got the OJs?" Yeah, he'd be like, "Listen, I'm gonna give you $1 if you play that whole OJs album." I'd be like, $1? Yeah, we got the OJs. You know, I'd be like, "Yo, I'll play it twice." He's like, "Nah,
back to back." That's right. That's probably how you so old. That's probably how the terminology called "spin it back" was created, because a man told you he was going to give you $1, so you created spinning it back.
Look, Jay Boogie, because of Freezy, we got spin it back right now.
Yeah, we got spin it back right now.
Bro, I know that joint used to be my girl. By heart. You know what I'm saying? But Doozy, but I didn't know nothing about the
darling baby.
Yeah.
Put up, you're my sweet and tender lover.
Yeah. But back then I used to see dudes that used to be clean, right? They'd be clean, like 3-piece.
Got his feet, he got jellies on.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't never see this dude go to work, but he always got money. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm gonna be like him because he ain't got no boss, right? You know what I'm saying? and so it's just me being naive. I didn't know. I was a kid. I was a kid, bro, naive. You know what I'm saying? About that. I'm like, yo, how come you always got the newest cars? He like, yo, Uncle Freezy, I get money. I ain't know. I was like, yo, if you spin enough records, you can get money. I ain't know. But anyway, what I'm getting at is we would take, like, if wasn't nobody putting tips in the jar, we would turn it over to the instrumental side and try to talk over the beat, like talk over the instrumental. Like, my name is Uncle Freezy and the place to be. I'm out in the park. Yo. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to hear dudes like Eddie Chiba. I don't know if y'all remember Eddie Chiba.
Yep.
But Eddie Chiba be on the joint, be like, yo, my name is Eddie Chiba, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, I'm going to be like Eddie Chiba. And so we out in the park doing a little thing. And my man messed around, and we heard a dude one time. No lie. We heard a dude scratch a record one time. We heard it was like,
it was over. It was
and
over.
I was like, we didn't know he had the same record playing. We didn't know he had two versions of the same record, right? He's scratching on one and release and let it go and it play, and then he'll hold it and he'll let the other side go. We didn't know nothing about that at the time. All we know is like, yo, this is the most amazing thing we ever heard in our life, right? And so we out there like, I'm trying to talk over the thing, and my man keeps trying to scratch. I'm like, yo, don't do that. Let me get my shine. He like, yo, I'm the DJ. Let me get my shine. You know what I'm saying? And so we're trying to talk over these beats. And this dude named Victor Quick. He was like in one grade above us, right? This dude named Victor Quick. He was one grade above. He was like 12. I was like 11. And we had a block party, and these dudes, the dudes that was getting money, they bought their real stuff out there. They had speakers taller than us. They had turntables everywhere. They had these big muscular dudes carrying crates of stuff. And I was like, yo, take your stuff in the house before they try to take it, man. And Keith's like, I ain't scared of them. And I'm like, yo, I ain't scared of them either. But, you know, these dudes look like they done knocked out about 7 to 8 years. You know what I'm saying? These dudes look like they done went away and came back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just and so the dude started up his stuff. He like, yo, y'all little boys. And I didn't know it was the echo chamber. I thought it was the voice of God. It was like, yo, y'all put y'all toys up. And he pointed out at us, and we everybody looking at us, and I was like, yo, hurry, put your stuff up, man. Take it. And what happened though, but this dude named Victor Quick, he's like, yo, I ain't scared of them.
My God.
If they do an open mic, if they open that mic up, Uncle Freezy, we're gonna go over there and rock it. Right? And so what happened was, you know, they was playing all the dudes with the fancy cars and all that stuff. They'd go drop $10 in a tip jar and be like, yo, play that Backstabbers joint. Play that Yarborough and Peoples. You know what I'm saying? You know, play that whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would play it, and then back then there'd be like a radio version, a disco version, and an album version. And the album version would be like 9 minutes long. The radio version would be like 4 minutes, right?
Yep.
But the album version would be 9 minutes. So no lie, they played the album version of a joint, right? And I can't remember exactly what it was, but during that, this dude, it was like a section where it was no music, nothing.
Dance to the drummer's beat.
It was the that might have been it. That might, hey, Ryan, you know
dance,
what?
do.
And these Puerto Rican kids, and these Puerto Rican kids came running out the crowd, right, and doing backflips and like spinning on their back and doing. I was like, yo, what is that? And we trying to get out there and do. We like, this looks strange to us, right? We like, this looks strange, you know. So to us, like, these dudes is. As soon as that part went off, they came back out the crowd and was chilling. And they was just waiting right there at the floor, right there on the side.
For the break.
And like the old heads and they girls was out there. Them ladies, the older ladies, they was out there. Them ladies had to be, they was old, bro. They had to be at least 18, 19 years old. They was old, bro. I'm talking about.
Up to the point. Guys with their girls.
Right.
Guys and their girls.
Right, bro. I'm like 12. I'm like 11 or 12, and I'm seeing like these old women. Yo, one of the ladies was so old, she had to be like 25, 26, bro. Old lady, bro. I'm telling you, she must have had like a kid my age. You know what I'm saying? Out there too. That was like his mama. She had to be at least 25, 26 years old. I was like, man, your mama's so old. What's she doing out here, bro? He like, man, you can't stop her, man. Mom, she swears she young, man. You know, mom's, you know what I'm saying? She'll be an old lady when she get 30 in a few years. You know what I'm saying? And so they're out there dancing, man, doing these things. And I had no idea that what we was going through at that time was the birth of something. you know how like something start off in its infancy, you don't know what it's gonna be, what it's gonna evolve into. You just know in the moment it feel good. You know what I'm saying? You just know in the moment it feel like it's gonna be something, and it belongs to you because you did at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you know what I'm saying. Maybe I'm the only one that had that feeling. But when I was on the stoop and I heard a dude say, "And what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat," and I was like, my ears were just like,
nah, we were just dizzy,
bro.
We just became dizzy because
Yo,
back
go ahead.
the block party was everything.
Everything.
The block party was everything, and the block party was where, you know, you found your courage to step up, and maybe, you know, you saw that person that might have been on your block since second grade. Since second grade.
Right.
And you was waiting to get that. You've been practicing your moves with your sisters and your cousins for so long. Like all of a sudden you finally get that. You finally get that opportunity to go get that first dance. Absolutely. We were just dizzy.
Right.
But
you wasn't the only one. You wasn't the only one that noticed little peaches from up the street.
Absolutely. Been waiting for like 2 years. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, we was so crazy when the Sugar Hill Gang came out. We was mad because when we first heard it on the radio, we was so mad because we thought that it should have been Flash because we knew about hip hop already.
Right.
So when they came on, we was like, yo, and then they was from Jersey. Oh, we was super mad because we thought that we were supposed to be the first ones to hit it, New York. And then Sugar Hill, and then the message came out after.
Right.
Man, we was so mad. Like, man, who these guys is, man? They're over there biting, so they biting styles, and then we was good.
Right. Yeah, and I was like, and I was because no lie, man. And I'm gonna show my age right here, but whatever. So back then, when you used to go to a house party,
get the tweezers out.
Yeah. So with, you remember house parties was big back in the day, right? And if you couldn't do this dance called the hustle or the bus stop, if you couldn't do the hustle or the bus stop, bro, you just couldn't dance at all. If you couldn't do the hustle, because it used to be this song, do the hustle. Everybody be doing the hustle in the house, right in the living room, right? And so I felt like that was the go-to. Like when on the block party, if you couldn't do the hustle or the bus stop, you weren't nobody, right? And then so the hustle would come on the block, and nobody would dance to it. And I had that vibe, like I want to go out there and do it. And the OGs just be like, nah, bro. Hey, we Uncle Freezy, we don't do them kind of dance. We don't dance like that, bro. And I used to be like, Face D, what you mean? At the house party, he's like, Uncle Freezy, don't dance like that. It's kind of like how dudes say right now when the wobble come on at the party and dudes be getting ready to put a drink. I'm like, hey, bro, you better not dance to that joint. Like, what you mean? Everybody, you dance to the wobble and see what happened. But that's how it was back in the day. Like so the wobble come on there, wobble baby. What? Nah, that ain't an OG song to dance to, right? So the hustle back in the day used to be that. But the Puerto Rican kid, as soon as the break in the song would come on, like just the drums, they would get out and do all these dances. And I was like, yo, what is that? What are they doing? And we didn't know what to call it. And then years later, like maybe like a year or two later, they used to call it breakdancing. And I was like, breakdancing? Yeah, I remember seeing it on the news. Y'all remember Sue Simmons on Channel 4 News?
On Channel 4, they had a whole thing one day. Because remember, those cats and stuff like that, when you went to places like Delancey Street and, somewhere in the city or something like that, and, those Lower East Side neighborhoods and even, the upper whatever neighborhoods, and those cats they had their cardboards out for a little minute. You know what I mean? It just took the media and, people who didn't know that was that happening. Like if you got on the trains to go to New York City or something like that, you would see them already on the platforms doing their thing.
Right. Right.
You know, Fox doing their thing.
Right, man. It was crazy. It was a wild time. Like I was just at that time really embracing the Knicks. Like really embracing the Knicks, really embracing this new music that was out. You know what I'm saying? And really embracing like who I was as a person, like in this new culture that was being born. I'm growing up. I'm an adolescent at the time that this culture is being born, and I'm contributing to it because I'm taking some of my Uncle records outside, and we just outside messing around talking over the beat. And no disrespect to rappers that do this or whatever, but back then it was open for everybody to do it. It was like the Wild West. You know what I'm saying? And trust, about 90% of the stuff you heard was trash, and me included, right? But they did they you know what I'm saying? Dudes was coming up trying to do the thing, and I'll never forget the first time I ever heard a real lyricist was my homeboy Victor Quick. He was a year older than us, right? And we used to bang tables in the cafeteria, and he used to rock, like do his little rhymes, whatever. And he used to like freestyle to the beat. You know, like we just do a beat, boom, 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 and he just rapped to it, right? But in the park that day, in the park, there was like the DJ was like, it was a dude named Kid Fresh, and I think everybody had dudes named Kid Fresh in their neighborhood back in the day. A dude named Kid Fresh, he was like, yo, I'm gonna let Victor Quick rock for a little bit. Everybody was like, boo, he a kid. And he got on and he rapped about what everybody was wearing to the beat now, to this beat. And Kid Fresh kept changing up beats. He was rapping about what everybody was wearing, what people driving. He was like, yo, and Uncle Freezy in a place to be. And I just run out there and do something crazy. Hey! You know what I'm saying? And he was rapping to the, like freestyling to the beat. And he walked off. And I'll never forget, the adults walked up to him and put cash in his hand because he was so dope. They legit walked over to him, put cash in his hand. I was like, what? You can make money doing this?
And you know the Force MDs. The Force MDs, right? Oh, what was that classic song they had? But
Love is a house.
You know, they used to be the Force MCs.
Yeah.
Before that.
Mercury, Ricky D, Stevie Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got crushed by the Cold Crush, and they never
Right.
They went from the Force MCs to Force MDs.
Yeah.
We used to call them the Force M Dummies.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember we seen them at they played at Broadway International on the 145th. And your boy used to do the karate. I know you know Jay Bugs. He used to do the karate noises. You remember one? I think it was the dude with they had one that had the little Jerry curl.
Right.
And he used to walk around with the little karate, but then in they little rap, he used to do that little the little like the 40-second karate. He used to be like I think it was Stevie D, and then because because the one with no teeth in the beginning, he wasn't in the group. He came when they started singing.
Right.
But when they was the Force MCs, he wasn't there.
Right.
But when they became the Force MDs, and then that's when they got the lead singer in. But yeah, they was Mercury. Yeah, Boog, you go back, baby.
I go back. Even like when AD was just talking about that girl up the block. Yo, that was the dumbest question I ever had in my life. I only said it one time. I got dissed on it. I was like 7 years old. She was like 13. And here I am up in front of her. I asked her, "Hey, you want to go with me?" She looked at me and said, "Boy, go with you." I never asked that question again. Everything after that, I used to tell girl, "Hey, yo, you my lady," and just grab their hand. But she schooled me on that when I was like, "You want to go with me?" Yo, that was a good question we used to ask.
Oh man. Hey, Jay Boog was past the notes that you wrote in school. He was straight to hey, you want to go with me? Hey, you was advanced then.
Yeah, you want to go with me?
Yeah, those were the days, bro. Like with me, I was so and not to dominate, but so I was in love with this girl, this Puerto Rican girl named Lisa, right? I think I was like 12 and feeling myself, bro.
Hold on, let me stop you right there before you go. Did you fall in love with her or went looking for Mona Lisa because Slick Rick dropped that?
Nah, this is before that. This is
Okay,
before that.
okay,
So this is right before Lisa and Coach Jam and all of that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. She was in my class.
Right. So,
Lisa was in my class.
Yeah, you can tell us that. Yeah.
We went to school together from junior high all the way up to high school.
Yeah. See, so this is right before her. I was like 12, right? And so 12. And so this girl up the street named Lisa, she was fine, boy. Everybody was trying to hit on her, whatever. Everybody talking to her. And whatever. She used to be like, yo, Uncle Freezy, I'm 16 and you 12. I mean, what's happening? You don't understand? And I'm like, listen, girl, listen. These dudes is hollering at you, but they ain't Uncle Freezy. I'm going to be somebody one day, girl. And you're going to be my lady. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out the car and I'm gonna go open the car door for you. You're gonna be my lady. When I pull up in this Lincoln, and then you know what I'm saying, and open that door for you, you're gonna be getting I'm spitting the game like I heard like my uncles and them spit at the bar or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to them, I'm taking the same thing they said, and I'm taking it to the young girls, right? And so she was like, yo, Uncle Freezy, it's gonna take a miracle for me and you to be together. Right? And I was like, a miracle? What kind of miracle? She was like, a big one. I was like, okay. So I was like, I like Lisa. He was like, yo, you talking about girl from up the street? She fine, but how old she is? Slow down. She my age. And so I'm like, how old is she? 16. Oh, she young. God dog it. And I'm like, nah, she my age. I'm 12. He's like, no, she's 16. I'll tell you what you do. He told me what to do, right? I walk up to Lisa. And I'm like, Lisa, I'm back. You gonna be my lady, right? She was like, yo, didn't I tell you it's gonna take a miracle? I was like, yeah, I know that. She's like, didn't I tell you it's gonna take a miracle? I was like, yeah, I know that, but I'm ready to perform my miracle. What you drinking? And she's like, what you mean? What I'm drinking? I just got some water. I got some water. What, you gonna turn it into wine? No, you know what I'm saying? She killing me, right, in front of all her girls. Because it's high school girls can be mean, bro. But I didn't have I'm not thin skinned, so none of that stuff bothered me. Her friends like, hey, ew, he got big ears. They clowning me, right? So I'm like, Lisa, what you drinking? She's like, I'm drinking water. You don't know what water is? So I'm like, give me a cup. She's like, no, what? You ain't about to drink my water? Hey, so Jay Boogie, right? I'm like, just give me the cup. She give me the cup of water. I pour it out on the ground, right? She's like, why you pour my water out? And I step on the water. I walk across it, right? And she was like, why you? Ew, he's splashing around in water. And I was like, there be a miracle. Now you my girl. She was like, that wasn't no miracle. What kind of miracle is that? I was like, yo, I just walked on water. Bam. She was like, oh, this young fella got game. You know what I'm saying? So she took me back in the alley, bro. And I'm gonna tell you how I knew I wasn't ready. So I walked on water in front of her girls. All her girls laughing like, oh, he's so cute. He got game, blah, blah. So she took me in the back alley, right? Yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm about to get me a little hug, a little smooch. Like, you know how when you 12, you remember how your auntie used to give you sugar, like at the Christmas get together or whatever? You know, kiss you all in the forehead, all in the eye. You like, ew, auntie, ew. What? Yo, so she French kissed me in the alley, right? Bam, on the spot. And I'm like, I ain't ready. I'm 12. This lady's 16. I ain't ready. I walked out the alley. I was a changed person, yo. From then on, I was hollering at 12-year-old girls because I was not ready. I thought I was ready, but I was not ready, bro. She did that. She held my hand. We walked out the thing, and yo, I was like, yo, you know what? Yeah, I am not ready. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, game was game, bro. I walked on water in front of her, bro. I impressed all her girls. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Freezy got his little reputation up.
Hey, look, Uncle Freezy, let me tell you what this OG did to me, right? It was my 7th grade prom, you know, because in New York, you could go from the 6th grade, you graduate to the 7th. Now you're in junior high, right? So
right.
little OG in my building, he was about like 16. So he telling me how to scoop the girl, right? So he said, yo, this is how you go at her. So I went at her like that and it worked. So I got her to the prom. She was going to Catholic school and everything. So, you know, I got her to the prom, you know. So her curfew was like at 2 a.m. Mine's was 1. I was like, yo, and she didn't even like really come out, but her moms used to see my moms and they just knew that, you know, at the time we was in the nation, so they thought I was more respectful. So she gave her the 2. My pops only gave me the 1.
Right.
So we kicked it out there. So 1 o'clock came. I told my pops before we was there. I said, nah, she get to stay out the 2. Right. He said, nah, but you need to be home by 1.
By 1, bro.
Yo, but you know, that was a failed attempt on his part. I don't even know why he tried to play me like that.
Right.
I said, yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, it went up to 2 o'clock. Now I got to come home. I'm like, hell, I ain't going home. I'm going to get in trouble. I might as well make it an all-nighter. So I went with my man at about 3 o'clock. Every 4 o'clock, everybody started going home. About 3. So now I'm like, damn. So I'm on my man, like, you know, I already done took her back to the crib. She stayed like pretty much in my little section that I stayed in. So my man was like, yo, man. He said, yo, just crash with me. So I crashed with him, make it long story short. Me and the girl start going out for about a month. Now she's sneaking out the house and she just went like buck wild. But you know, I couldn't keep up.
Right.
OG done scooped her. Oh, I was hurt.
Oh,
he used me to get her out the house, so I get the blame. So he was too old to really, but he used me to do it. But she was already liking him. She was already liking him. I was just like the get her out. Right. I said, man, his name was Troy. Guess what we call him?
The quiet boy.
Hey, look, guess what? Guess what we call him now? To this day. Untrustworthy Troy. That name stuck with him for 45 years. Everybody see him, they be like, yo, what's up, untrustworthy? He be like, yo, man, don't call me that. Right. Shorty got one back on him. That middle name, that nickname stuck the rest of his life. Bam. Yeah, you got the girl though, but you got the name that went with it.
Hey, look. Hey, Sergeant Nick, you still over there? Oh, he's snoring, y'all. Hey, look. Hey, Freezy. Hey, Rob. AD, he left. But yo, go read the private joint. I wasn't gonna say that right there on the air, but I want y'all to read that private joint because that was a major thing right there back in the days, man. Just so y'all get a laugh.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You had to show and prove, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to show that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that one right there.
Young dudes be so nasty.
Hey, yo, and everybody used to run around and get the old ugly chick and do that and be like, see, and then blame it on the other girl. Be like, nah, man, you foul for that one. Yeah. Foul for that one.
Try to switch her up.
Yeah, switch her up. Be like, see. Yeah. We ain't know what we were smelling. Just like, yo, all right.
Right.
Hey, look, man. Hey, man, I want to come and bark on to show you support for a few, man. I got to get back in this laboratory, man. I'm working on my 3rd joint right now for the day, man, while I got this free time. But I saw y'all up and running, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to come and rock with y'all. I might write a joint for Rob, too, called I Ain't Come See You. Yeah, you told me that the other day. You ain't come see me. Yeah, I might write a song called I Ain't Come See You.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That wasn't literally, I'm going to come see you. That wasn't that day.
I know where you was at, man. I know where you was at.
Down there.
I know where you was at, man. It's okay. You was feeling good that morning. It was okay.
No, I'm coming to see you. I am. My people's down there. I'm coming to see you. You in that area, that Raleigh area, I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, man.
I didn't mean that day, bro. I did not mean that day. But look, because my man, look, you gonna see, because the person that I'm gonna come see you with is the person. Remember when you didn't make it to the club?
Right.
He was with me. Hey, look, we
Oh,
coming.
but I made it to the club.
But what? You said they got in the fisticuffs or something,
Man,
right?
before I even, walked over there and went in there, they was outside tearing outside all the way to pieces, man.
Wow.
They was getting it out of there.
Right.
Because
Hey, they was getting it so hard.
straight from the spot.
But see, my man didn't even know I was out there. They was getting it so hard. I'm like, but you know what? I believe that y'all went to the other club though. I went to the club where he was at. He got 2 of them, and that's where I didn't want to be. I think y'all might have went to the other. Y'all might have went to the
with the grown people.
Yeah.
My cousin told me that it was 2 of them.
Yeah.
We went to the one. I think that one was next to Kanye's. The one that I think it was out there by Kanye's. The one we went to.
Yeah, he got the dummy club and he got the smart club, and I went to the dummy club because they was out on Wild Street. Wild Street.
You went to Beat Down Avenue?
I went to Beat Down Avenue, kick him to sleep.
Wow. Hey, man. Yeah, man. Hey,
but
so
man, I'm a rock out, man. I love y'all.
All right.
Man. All right. Hey, Sunday afternoons, boss. Sunday afternoons at 2. This is what we're gonna try to do, boss.
I got you. That's lunch on. That's on brunch on Sunday. That's that Nas song. That's brunch on Sunday. That's what this is. Brunch.
Yeah, man.
I got you, man.
All right.
All
boss.
right, Doc.
Yeah, man. So, hey, Rob, I'm gonna wrap up here, man. We just trying to do
that's cool.
2 to 4.
That's good.
Thanks again, man, for coming through. This is like the OG hour, except this morning. You know what I'm saying? Because in the live streams, we don't hardly get to really get the. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna set aside some time where we can just come in and kick it. Let me give AD his, because this is you and AD, baby. So if y'all want to say something before we go, man, y'all welcome to.
Oh, this is officially our baby.
Yeah, this is what I've been wanting. I've been wanting it to be for a while, because you know what I'm saying. Because when we get in the chat, man, I just can't in the live stream. I just can't make room for y'all to come in and flex, like you know what I'm saying. So I just want to do something with a slower pace where we can get in and take our time and just what I'm saying, and just build. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got it. Well, you know what I mean, Freezy, it's always a pleasure, chatting with you and about Knicks and everything else besides Knicks. Rob, this is like the second time I've been kicking it. Well, I've been on with Rob before on other platforms and stuff like that before, but it was good kicking it with you as well, Sergeant. Sergeant G-Man and J Boogie, and we've had some experiences that predates, maybe some of the younger fans, and a lot younger fans, just like the people who we learned the love for sports from, that we watch them to understand the love of the Knicks and, sports in general. So it's always good rocking out with y'all, and the shout out to the panelists and everything and the chat.
Yeah, no doubt. Just come by and check out the history. You may learn something that you didn't know, that your big uncle didn't tell you, or your big homie didn't tell you. But all wise, yes, I was there at 371, the Lions Den, the Zodiac, and Skate Key. And then White Castle's after. No doubt, all wise.
Yeah.
We did all that. And
the Freezy was talking about White Castle the other day. The Freezy was talking about, when you're trying to slide through, and one of the slide through spots, White Castles gets a real bad rap. You know what I mean? Over the years.
Over the years, like,
it was there for us, for people who was out at a certain hour.
Right.
Hey, look, and then we start playing them. Like we all got diarrhea. I ain't never get diarrhea from White Castle.
Yes. That's the thing. It might not have been the most healthiest, but like any other fast food place, but they were one of the places. If you creeping home anytime 2:00 or later, they're like first on the list.
Menu.
Yes. Because we weren't balling like that, bro. We was on a what? I would say budget, but that means you was getting money all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, bro, I was lucky to get White Castle, bro. You know what I'm saying? To me, that was like, man, all I got is $4.17. I can't sit up in Burger King, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got the bro. Look, I gotta eat and take the bus home.
Hey, look, White Castles kept Burger King and McDonald's cheap because we will not go. Once you got a car, Burger King and McDonald's was no longer an option.
Right.
Yeah.
From State Key to Train, OJ's, White Castle.
Yeah. Once you had a car, and you was, because really those places where your moms and stuff took you.
Yeah.
Like after a day out with her.
Yeah.
You maybe could give a, yo, can we
go to White Castles?
Can we? You know, but once you was on your own and you had your own friends, and later and you was getting in later and later, it's like, where were you? And until you wasn't coming home, it's like, where's the drop? Where are we gonna fix this problem right here to make my problem is in my car? Let's get all the problems together right now. Let me get the problem that's immediately to my right. You know, if I could get her something to eat. Okay, so where are we going here? We're going to White Castles.
Right. I'm telling you, and people don't know how serious, bro. This girl asked me, I'll never forget, I was in 9th grade, this girl named Sharon. You know what I'm saying? I had met her. I went to Dickinson High, right? This girl named Sharon. I was like, trying to holler. She like, yo, you ain't taking me to White Castles. She called me one of them words that I can't say, you know what I'm saying, on the live stream, but you ain't taking me to White Castle. You taking me to the Blimpie place. And I was like, Blimpie? $6? Girl, what for you? $6 for
that
you?
Pastrami and cheese was no joke.
It wasn't no joke, bro, but I could afford that.
I know what you're saying, though.
Yo, I'll take you to Vadakis, Delicatessen. I'll take you to the bodega. You know, I'll take you to the deli and get you but the deli wasn't Blimpie, bro. The deli wasn't Blimpie.
Nah, we used to go to Jackson Hole on 86 on 90th Street, go to the movies, Jackson Hole. That was like high school. We was making a couple little dollars at the little store we was working at. So we was able to swing one of those, though, because a car wasn't needed. Oh, we training it. If you want that, we training it.
Right.
You got a cab from my crib on a date. We trained it. When we got back to my crib, if something jumped, then it jumped. If it didn't, you got a cab from my house to your house.
Right.
But when you came down, you took the train to my house, and then we trained it all around the city.
Right.
And then once it was late, then I put you in the cab and I send you back to your house because I ain't want to, I wasn't doing
responsible
it.
For
If I was broke, then I ride you up to the train. I ride you up to your stop, and then walk you home. Then get back on the train.
Right.
But other than that, nah.
Yeah, and so the thing is this. I don't know if people understand where I'm coming from. Like where I would see, because I didn't grow up in New York City. I didn't grow up in the city, right? I grew up in Jersey City, right? So I grew up, man, going to Journal Square, go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? And I would spend some summers in the Bronx, whatever, a week or two, spend some days in the Bronx. And then, for the summer, I would come down south, would be a different pace, but you know how it is. But what I'm getting at is this. We wasn't having bread like that to be like I wasn't getting the best seats in the world at Yankee Stadium and all of that, bro. Nah, we go once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Knicks. When I tell you I used to go to Knicks games, it'd be once in a while, maybe once a year. Harlem Globetrotters might be twice a year when I was a little kid, when I was a shorty. Like one time you'll go with your mom, got tickets from the job, or the church would sponsor a bus trip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is that G-Man? Oh,
yeah.
G-Man.
I think that is G-Man.
Oh, he ain't live when he said he getting old.
Yeah, G-Man.
That's a perfect way to end. Yeah, that's a perfect way to end.
That's the perfect way to end it.
Hey, fellas, as usual, maybe we can do this again next week, man. I hope so.
Hey,
know what
Freezy,
I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna
good,
call
good.
you on something in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Rob. Peace out, Uncle
Peace out,
Freezy. Nick's
AD.
family for
All
life.
right, y'all.
Y'all know
All
what
right,
it
look
is.
out.
Yeah, hey, y'all stay up, man.
All right, you too.